Just wait just a moment so we can put the audited.
Okay.
So there's no background noise.
Yep.
I'd like to do the
Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chad Novak, and I am here representing the Saskatchewan Taxpayers Advocacy Group, which is a grassroots organization proudly standing up for the rights of individual taxpayers. I'm here this time to address the 2015 annual report and public accounts. Right off the top, I want to make it very clear that I respect the work that all of the finance team puts into these reports, and I am by no means trying to take anything away from their contributions over the past year. I am confident that we have a highly skilled and trained staff throughout the City of Regina, but that does not make their work immune to public criticism, as the case may be. Also, due to the very limited 5 minutes that you allow for delegations, I will barely touch the surface of this report, and I invite you to visit chadforregina.com for more information. Something that I am very proud to be responsible for is ensuring that our city provides fair and equitable treatment to all taxpayers of Regina. I am also looked towards for translating some of the more often complex municipal issues and reports that come out. Now, I know that this is what city councillors are supposed to be for, but for a variety of reasons, they choose to come to me instead. Before we go into too much detail, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up a very serious concern about the reliability of the figures contained within these financial reports. I appreciate that these reports are audited, but as a chartered professional accountant myself, I know that audits are only reliable on the material aspects of the financial situation of an organization, and they aren't really designed to catch the kind of assumedly clerical or typographical errors as I have outlined in Appendix A and Appendix B. Now, while these may be clerical or typographical errors, they are quite significant and certainly do bring into question the reliability of the entire report. Further on the clerical or typographical errors, I feel obligated to ask for further clarification once again from administration as to what the exact operating surplus was for 2015. As you can see in Appendix C, D, and E, I have found at least 3 different figures that could be interpreted by residents as the 2015 surplus. Now, if I, as a CPA, am having difficulty differentiating between these, I imagine you can appreciate that the average resident out there would have their heads spinning by looking at all of these different figures. The taxpayers of Regina put a significant amount of trust into these reports, and more importantly, what you as councillors are able to translate to them in layman's terms. I would like to issue an open challenge here tonight to every councillor in attendance. Without asking administration, can you personally identify what the actual operating surplus is just by reading this report? Or more importantly, how it relates to the bottom line when challenged by a taxpayer as to how it might impact their property taxes? Now, any potential typographical errors aside, I am wondering if your administration can provide a summary on the 1% property tax that was to be dedicated to the residential road renewal over the past couple of years. Can they provide a rundown of how that worked out exactly? The reports are quite vague in that regard, and I was hoping that such a program would be uniquely identified to demonstrate exactly the value that taxpayers have received for the money that has been allocated. More specifically, now when I'm looking at the expenditures as in Appendix F, I note that roads and traffic, for example, actually spent $12.8 million less than was budgeted for. Now, presumably, that budgeted figure all included this 1% separate allocation. Granted, there are most likely far more than just residential road repairs within this expense item, but without a more detailed breakdown, taxpayers are just left in the dark as to how well that 1% is actually working out, if it is at all. Or is it just turning out to be another way to justify tax increases with little to nothing to actually show for it? Simply because it's labeled roads, people would be more willing to accept it, which anyone in Regina knows our roads are in desperate need of attention. I thank you for your time this evening, and I will gladly answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Novak, for your presentation. Are there any questions of the delegation?
Thank you.